What's up guys, Doomsday here. Today we're back again. In this video we're going to be playing some Jarvan in the jungle. So actually I think Jarvan is a super strong jungler if you do pick him in the right circumstance, and I think this is one of the good circumstances. So the reason why I picked Jarvan here, the main reason at least, is because we're going up against a Xin Zhao. And I've played a decent amount of Xin Zhao myself, and I honestly think that Jarvan does super well into Xin Zhao. And the reasoning for that is pretty much Xin Zhao's entire go-to playstyle is that he can get in and like reset his abilities a bunch and burst any squishy down and deal so much damage. But the thing about Jarvan is you also have a super strong early game with your damage and your perk, plus you're relatively tanky, so Xin Zhao can't even burst you down. And that's pretty much the weakness of Xin Zhao is once you run out of your abilities, you really can't trade with many people very well. So that's just why Jarvan does relatively well into him. But now I'm actually looking to go for a gank on this bot side over here relatively early, but notice what I'm doing over here. I'm not going there right away. I'm waiting for the Aurelia to reach level 2. So right as I see this Aurelia reach level 2, then I'm going to start looking for this gank. And there's one specific reason why I look for this gank, and it's because of the matchup. The matchup is a Gragas versus Aurelia, and if you just think about that matchup, if you simulate it in your head, which is an important thing of the jungler being able to understand lane matchups, that's going to be a heavy trading matchup. Because that Gragas is always going to step up to use his empowered auto attack when he drinks the thing. And the Aurelia is always going to be looking to use their first ability and land their stun and stuff. So now this Xin Zhao is trying to go for an invade. And this is a mistake a lot of junglers make in all tiers. Is if you see something like what happened where I got a good gank off in the bot side, this Xin Zhao is really trying to force it. And the map is just too small for that in Wild Rift. In League of Legends it's possible, but it's just super hard in Wild Rift. But I was able to get a good kill, but notice what I do here. I run back to the scuttle, and I actually smite it for health. So now the Zed can't even kill me. And that's a really good play you can make as a jungler, is smiting these camps for health in these small skirmishes like that. That can totally save you there. Because that smite definitely did save me there, and without that, I for sure would have died. So now I know I can look for this bot side scuttle. The Xin Zhao has only cleared his red side, I know, and then he went to look to invade. So he's probably going to be on this side of the map and trying to clear his blue buff. So I'm keeping that in mind. But yeah, just being able to simulate matchups and trying to figure out which ganks will be good ganks can just be a complete game changer. So I'm able to get the scuttle. Xin Zhao's probably just taking his blue buff right now is what I'm guessing. So I'll start to back off. Yep, Xin Zhao is over there. So now this Aurelia is pretty far pushed up. And now we're able to go onto Xin Zhao. He gets a good flash off. Sadly, I did not get to follow, but it looks like the Aurelia was able to clean that up. And now they're fighting the Gragas. Let's see if I could save him a bit. I sadly am not able to. And right now I know Zed's rotating from mid, and that's why I'm trying to get out of here. But I realize that this case, Zed's level 5. I'm going to get bursted down anyways. So I actually am at least able to burn most of the abilities from the Zed. The Zed wastes their ultimate on me. I was able to pick up the Gragas, and that ended up being a decent trade. Let's see, is Lucian going to get us? Yes, they are. So the cool tip about your ult is it does a couple things. One, of course, it entraps people, but another thing that a lot of people don't realize is that it does a lot of damage when you use it. And you could really use that to be for a source of burst damage like how I did there. I saw the Zed was there. I knew they had ultimate. I knew that I was going to die anyways. So I was just like, I'm going to try and burst down this Gragas as fast as I can and see if I can at least trade 1 for 1. So that was good. And we were able to force out the Zed ult too. So now he doesn't have that. Or else that Lucian would for sure be dead there if Zed had ult. Yeah, if Zed had ult there, they for sure would have died. But now that Gragas is holding the wave near his turret, and I'm looking to set up for these objectives now with all of them spawning. And I'm keeping an eye right now. Actually, see, look at their top duo. They're both resetting. Or at least that's what I see. So that's why I start to head to this side. I thought they were going to reset, so I was thinking maybe I could rush the dragon really quickly. But they did come back. And now everybody warded up the drag, so not going to be able to sneak that in. But I'm hanging on this side of the map. They're super low on that top side, but I'm waiting for my teammates to get back. And now I'm seeing what I could do. I'm pretty sure Xin Zhao's on this side of the map too. That's something to keep in mind. If you do play this duo lane over here, when this first dragon spawns, there's a very good chance that the enemy jungler will be in the area. So as you can see, Xin Zhao is in the mid, top, river side, because that's usually just a safe bet. Because that's where most junglers usually hang around when that first dragon spawns. So if you're going to be in that top side when the first dragon spawns, be wary that if you are overextended, there's a good chance you're going to get ganked. So I see that Xin Zhao had recalled, and I'm trying to rush this. The Lucian sadly did not come fast enough, so now we'll see if we can secure this. We are able to get the good secure, get a really good chain CC, and there's absolutely nothing Xin Zhao can do there. But now I'm looking at these two champs over here, and why do I think this is really good to look for? It's because both of these champs are super immobile. I know if I can look for a good ultimate, they probably won't be able to get out unless they have flash up, because neither Jinx or Sona have good escapes. So I'm able to get the Sona, I get the trap in, and my teammate is able to follow up for that. And now we're looking to see if we can get the turret, but we're all literally one shot. So we decide to just not take the risk and back off here. So the build I'm going to be going is actually Black Cleaver. I think I actually switched to Locket. You can go Locket or Gargoyle or any utility item pretty much for your enchantment. And then after that, you just go full on tank. You can go Sterix into Guardian Angel and then whatever defensive item you need for the match. And that's just really the standard Jarvan build, because even with only Black Cleaver, you still deal quite a decent amount of damage. So now I'm looking for this Herald side. I'm trying to keep an eye out if there's anybody that's going to be overextending. And actually, I just caught Xin Zhao on a ward near his red buff. So he's actually not on this side of the map. So what does that tell me? I can look for a dive over here, and that's exactly what I do. I go for this full-on dive, and sadly the Gragas gets a super good ultimate. That was kind of bad on my part. I should have really considered that Gragas ult and positioned better, because if both me and the Aurelia would have positioned better, that Gragas ult wouldn't have been able to knock us both away. But now that we did force him out, we at least get that first turret here, which is huge. That's 1,000 gold for our entire team, and now we're looking for this Herald. So yeah, they're all on the top side, so we did get that turret there. Now we got 3 of us here, and we're able to get this Herald. So now trying to force the Zed out. I tried to predict this right as he would clone over, but sadly I wasn't able to. But I'd like to see if I could do anything on the top side. And I realized they're just backing off, so I decided to just drop the Herald in mid, because one Herald ram should be able to get this turret here. And what am I doing right now? I'm actually waiting to see if Aurelia lands the stun, and that's exactly why. Notice what I did there. I didn't go for the trap myself. I didn't just try and throw my flag out and then go for the knockup myself, because it's a bit harder to land. So actually what I did was I waited to see if the Aurelia was going to land their stun. And you can see I was aiming it, and I was literally waiting. And right as the Aurelia stunned, I followed up and chain CC'd, because when they're stunned from the Aurelia, then it's a free knockup for me. So we're able to pick up a couple kills there because of that good chain CC. And now we're just clearing out their ward, or their jungle. But going back to that level 1 gank, or level 2 gank that I actually did, it was really key for me to wait for Aurelia to get to level 2. And the reason for that is, when ganking, you have to consider not only your abilities, but also the person who you're ganking for. So Aurelia, imagine if I'd ganked at level 1, what can Aurelia do? All they could really do is use their first ability dash thing, and that's about it. But if I wait for them to get to level 2, that gives them so much more value, because then they can stun them up and refresh their first ability and get it in twice. So that just makes for a so much better gank. And if you think about it, the Gragas, if you're a Gragas in lane, the first 2 abilities you're going to get is your empowered auto attack and your barrel. So he won't even have his dash to escape at level 2. So that's just why it's really important to know all the champs and their abilities and how they play in the lane. Because I knew Gragas would have no gap closing, whereas my Aurelia would have good engage. So that was, of course, a very good gank early on. But now we're farming up, and for the runes, I'm going Aftershock for the tankiness. I think it's a very strong rune. You can go Conqueror if you want to deal more damage, but I honestly just like Aftershock for the tank, because I think that's what makes Jarvan super special as a jungler. He's just so tanky, but he still deals good damage with only a Black Cleaver. And then after that, I went Conquer, or no, not Conquer, Brutal. I went Brutal for my second rune. And then Conditioning and Pathfinder. So for now, we're just forcing up into their jungle really far. They can't really do much at this point. I was able to shut down the Xin Zhao early on, and that's really the biggest thing, I think, is if you can beat out a Xin Zhao early on, his late game, all he really does is a tank. He doesn't have much CC or anything for his team. He does have some value, but not as much. Jarvan has more value in the late game than Xin Zhao does. Just because you're way more tanky, you have so many knockups. Your flag gives attack speed too, if you didn't know. If you're getting low on Jarvan, actually, and you're trying to fall out the battle, A cool thing you could do is just drop your flag near your teammates, because it also gives your teammates extra attack speed that are standing near it. So even if you can't physically be in the fight, just dropping your flag can provide them so much more value. So as you can see, actually, I'm just keeping an eye out to see if this Aurelia lands a good stun. And if they do, then I'm going to follow up the engage. So if I actually go for it myself, I was able to get the good look off. If I get the good look, of course, I'll go for it first. But sometimes it's just a bit harder at some angles to land your flag knock up. So now we're pushing down this inhib turret. Let's see if we can get this inhib turret. And again, I'm just waiting to see if the Aurelia lands their stun. But now it looks like they're kind of sort of giving up. The Zed just resetted. I don't think he expected us to push up this far. Our Aurelia kind of overextended a bit. But I'm able to turn on this. I still have Lock It up, actually, so I know I could still bait him a bit. They're not able to kill me. And Jarvan has such good escape. That's one thing I love about Jarvan. It's so hard to chase him down, because he could just throw his flag and keep on dashing by. So now this Corki is fighting this Gragas. I'm looking for a good chance to re-engage. Sadly, I was not able to land the knock-up. But let's see if we can pick up this Gragas. We're able to, and ooh, this fruit's right here. Nice, I'm able to get it. So now we're able to clean that up, turn that around. That was definitely good. But I have so much gold, I definitely need a shop. I should just reset here. Ooh, Zed ult. Let's see if that can get me. Yep, that definitely got me. I should have just reset it there. I don't know why I stayed, but got a bit cocky, I guess. Having too much fun. But for this match, item-wise, up next, depending on what I need defense for, I'd probably go for either the Thornmill, but just because they have 3 attack damage, or if the Jinx is doing a lot, I'd go for Randuin's Owen, because that'll reduce the crit damage. So those will probably be the next 2 items I'm looking for after I finish on my Guardian Angel. But now I'm just looking for my blue buff. Seeing if I can get this. You can get so much value out of the blue buff in the late game. Because think about that time when I had disengaged for a while. You regen so much from the blue buff. People don't realize it until you actually like see it and realize it. But our really is popping off. They got 4 kills there. Looks like they're about to end actually. So they didn't even need me at this point. I got him super far ahead early on. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed. And if you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, as I love reading the comments. And I'll see y'all in the next video.